What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. And basically, throughout this entire week, we are still thinking about, this Eagles squad. The pain that they have put us through yesterday was a nice distraction thanks to your orange and black Philadelphia Flyers team with that win against the New Jersey Devils. But now, as you move on throughout the week, you're still hearing things about this Eagles team, things that make my skin crawl, make my blood boil, and just how overall it just feels like we've been fooled. And there's just so many things going on with this team right now. They're just completely lost. They're completely broken. They're searching for answers. They're trying to find something that can spark them. They're trying to find the problems. They're trying to find the details. And it's just completely all over the place right now with the offense, with the defense, with the lackluster players in the secondary, with how, poorly Jalen Hurts has been basically this season. There's no excuse for him being sick on Sunday, but there's also, some discussions if Jalen Hurts is supposed to be sick, why is, Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson constantly forcing Jalen Hurts to run the ball himself when he could probably barely breathe out there? There's a lot of questions. Like I said, there's no excuses for how poorly Jalen played, regardless if he was sick and anything like that. He's been poor for a little bit. He was poor this game. He was poor against Dallas. He was poor against San Fran. There's been a lot of issues with Jalen this year. He is nowhere close to that MVP level caliber player that we saw last season. Way too many turnovers and everything. And granted, yes, there are quarterbacks around the league that are very upper echelon, that are high tier quarterbacks that are definitely not having the best seasons. Hell, freaking Dak Prescott, who's having an MVP caliber year this year, Dallas fans wanted him to be run out of town last year because of how poorly he played and all the interceptions and all the turnovers. And if you look at some of the quarterbacks around the league this year, Josh Allen definitely isn't having his best season. Patrick Mahomes isn't having his best season. Joe Burrow wasn't having his best season. Granted, he was injured and now he's out for the rest of the year. There's been a lot of quarterbacks throughout this league that are very high respectable, and they're just not playing their best brand of football. Overall, the product of football of the NFL this year has just basically been very, very piss poor, and Jalen Hurts is definitely included in that mix. So yeah, there definitely could be cases where, some of these quarterbacks are just having down years, and they're too good of quarterbacks to be having this down of stretches for this long, and they'll eventually figure it out. And I do eventually believe Jalen will figure it out, because I just think he's too good not to. I think we're just experiencing right now, for the first time in a little bit here, that Jalen's getting in his own head, that he's trying to do way too much out there, that he's trying to play hero ball, he's trying to do whatever he can with this offense, trying to get at the guys, trying to hit the home run pass for some reason to Quez Watkins, when he's completely missing things on the field that he should be targeting with ease, when you're missing Devontae Smith down low, wide open, which could be an easy third down conversion. Instead, you're trying to take a shot downfield to A.J. Brown in double coverage and trying to get a 50-50 ball. It's just not going to work when he's missing these just open reads on the field, not passing it up the middle, not utilizing Dallas Goedert enough, when this offense doesn't utilize DeAndre Swift enough. It's just completely all over the place, and that's why we're seeing the things that we are with this offense, and it's just still completely mind-boggling how bad this offense is, because it shouldn't be this bad. It shouldn't be this difficult. There's way too much talent on each side of the ball on this offense. The offensive line, the quarterback, the running back room, the wide receiving core, your tight ends. There should be no reason for this offense to look this sloppy, to look this bad, just to look like putrid crap. It just shouldn't look like that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. But here we are. And it looks like that. And who is there to blame? Yeah, there's definitely blame to be put on Jalen Hurts. He has not been good this year. He is not putting his players in good positions to succeed. But you can also put a lot of blame on this coaching staff as well. Brian Johnson deserves blame. Nick Sirianni, I believe, deserves a lot more blame than Brian Johnson, because I believe this is more Nick Siri's offense than anything. Or if you want to say Brian Johnson isn't utilizing Nick Sirianni's, offense to the best capabilities like, Shane Steichen did last year, I just feel like, right now, because you're going through a year where you're learning through a guy going through his first year of play calling on the offensive side. Even if Brian Johnson is doing the play calling, I still firmly believe he's just doing what Nick Sirianni wants to do. I think if you're, like I said this in the recap on Sunday, and I've said this many times in the past couple of weeks, with the offense, this is Nick Sirianni's offense. This is what he wants to do. He's not creative. This is not a creative offensive-minded Nick Sirianni, who's supposed to be more of an offensive-minded coach. In 2021, his first season, he gave up play calling. He was the guy calling the plays in 2021 until he gave it to Shane Steichen, and then once Shane Steichen took over, you saw that offense start to flourish a little bit more, and that helped the Eagles squeak into that playoffs when they got blown out by Tampa Bay. And then the next following year, it goes on a magical run. The offense is amazing. They're blowing out teams left and right. It goes to the NFC Championship game. It goes to the Super Bowl where you have a freaking 10-point lead at halftime and you don't find a way to close that out. But you still were just, there was a lot of things that were just great. There was motion. There was creativity. There was fluidness. There was everything with the offense last year. And it just isn't happening this year. Everything looks so difficult. It looks so hard. It looks like you're trying to do way too much out there. It's just, everything has to be complicated. You're not using motion. It's the simplest plays where you see Christian McCaffrey on ESPN with, the Peyton Manning broadcast and all that stuff, where he's literally sitting there and he can tell you what scheme the Eagles are drawing up on a specific play. He can literally tell the play design by watching it at home from his television. That's how easily predictable this Eagles offense is right now, because it's too vanilla, it's too blah, it's too simple. It's either run up the middle, it's either try to go for the home run pass, and then you're hearing stuff with Jason Kelce saying that we need to try that more, we need to hit those more consistently, and I think that's one of the main reasons with this offense, the main problems with this offense. You're trying way too much to get the home run pass. Hitting Quez Watkins is not going to be successful. Seriously, the last time Quez Watkins did something productive in this offense was last year, week 2 against the Vikings. It's been a year and a half, and he hasn't been productive since then. Every time you target him, it turns into something bad. It turns into an interception. It turns into a dropped ball where he easily should catch that in a Super Bowl in the red zone, which should have been an easy touchdown. He doesn't fight for the ball. He gets pushed off of it easily, and he doesn't even try to battle or even try to make it look like it's a pass interference on the defense to at least get your offense get down the field more and closer to the end zone. No, he just does it. He says, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Why should I? Why should I? And that's the type of player Quez is. He's not that good. He's not that productive in his offense. Like, what's the purpose of him being there? Seriously, Zaccheaus has done way more in his short sample size than Quez Watkins has ever done in an Eagles uniform. Oh, but that one preseason game that he had where he completely blew our minds. Nope. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And I do believe that Nick Sirianni is talking right now to the media in his, post-game, a couple of days after press conference. I believe I did see something here from John Clark, and I want to try to bring it up right here to see what fully Nick Sirianni has to say in terms of the reaction from the last game. So this is from John Clark. The criticism of this offense should come to me. It's my offense. I was hired to do a job here, and I am committed to that. The criticism should come at me, and I think it's unfairly going to Brian Johnson because he's calling the plays. Yes, that is what I'm stressing. This is Nick Sirianni's offense, and yes, I like that he is taking accountability with it. I do like that he is taking accountability with all this stuff, but still, at the end of the day, figure it the fuck out. Find a way to be more creative. Find a way to use motion. Stop going for home run passes every single drive. Stop, the offense has to stop stalling out after it has a productive drive. After you have that first melodic, fluent drive of the game where you run it up the field, where you drain clock out, and you get a touchdown when you hold the time of possession there. You get an early score. And then what? You stall out for the next so many drives. There's a drive where you should have scored a touchdown, but you've been undisciplined. And yeah, call it a ticky-tacky penalty if you want on Jason Kelce, but false start is a false start. It moves you back 5 yards, and instead of a 3rd and 1 where you can easily get a tush push for a first down, it forces you to do something else, even though that 3rd and 6 play design was absolutely dumb. It was. It's freaking either screen passes, run up the middle, or you're putting players in positions to not succeed. And then it forces you into a field goal when you probably could have been up 14-0 at that point. And then your offense stalls out again. And then your defense has a bad drive. And then your defense has a bad drive to start the second half. And then you do have another melodic, fluent drive with a response. You get another score, becomes 17-10, and then your offense completely stalls the rest of the game. Jalen Hurts making stupid decisions. For some reason, with 8 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter when you're at midfield, why are you taking a shot on first down to Quez Watkins? You should know immediately that there's no shot in that happening. It just is. And then I believe before the half even ended, when you had that 3rd down play, when you have Devontae Smith wide open down low, you try to take a shot to A.J. Brown. It just can't happen this often, and it just continues to happen this often with the offense. It's ridiculous. It's annoying. It's frustrating. It just is. The defense is what the defense is. We know there's a lack of talent in the secondary. Sean Desai has not been good. And yes, there should have been credit given to Sean Desai in the certain games where the defense did step up. But the stats are the stats. The ranks are the ranks. And Sean Desai has overall not been good this season. It doesn't matter what play caller is going to be changing. No, it doesn't matter if Matt Patricia is in there. Your lack of talent in that secondary is why your defense is so bad. You rely so much on your defensive front to get to the quarterback, and they're struggling to even do that this year. It's one of the biggest things with this team last year was getting those sacks. And yes, 70+ sacks was going to be impossible to replicate, but this team sucks at getting to the quarterback on 3rd down. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL at getting to the quarterback on 3rd down. They're one of the worst teams on 3rd down in general. They allow so many conversions on 3rd down, 3rd and long, 3rd and short, 3rd and whatever. It always, they get the stops on the first two downs, but 3rd down is where they struggle. 3rd down is where they struggle. When at the 3rd and long, it becomes a passing play where someone's wide the fuck open, or they use the tight end up the middle, or it's someone on the sides of the field, on the ends of the field, and it's just completely uncontested, or we can't even do anything. We can't even force the quarterback to make a mistake because it just looks so easy to them. It just is. And then they go down the field. And then once they convert that long 3rd down, it turns into a touchdown drive because you can't get your defense off the field. You can't get the offense back out there. It's an issue when you have these old guys and guys that shouldn't be playing, undrafted guys that are clearly not ready yet. Some of these guys, with, Kelly Ringo, Job, and all that stuff. And also, Eli Ricks with undrafted guys that just shouldn't be there, guys that are, being forced to play in positions that they shouldn't be because you're just so weak in that position because Howie Roseman continues to ignore that spot of the field in the draft. He doesn't use his high draft picks to go out and get corners, get safeties high in the 1st round. Guys that could be in your franchise for long periods of time. No, we got to deal with freaking old-ass Darius Slay. I don't care what his stats say. A James Bradberry who has clearly declined and last year was just a complete blip on the radar with how good he was last season. It just is. Seriously, this dude is getting burnt on the final drive. They're targeting him every single time. The stats for Job, Ricks, and all that stuff look the way that they are because you could just target James Bradberry and he's going to get torched. Because that's what it's been the entire year with Bradberry. And you could say, yeah, they're not putting their defensive players in positions to succeed, or their players are just bad. That's the case. That's the case. Slay's old. Bradberry's old. You don't have Avonte Maddox because he's always injured. You let your young guys go and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I still don't understand why you let him go. You let T.J. Edwards go. You let Marcus Epps go. You let all these young guys go that you can build and develop from within for this defense, but Howie just didn't want to pay them. But no, let's get the scraps off the street and let's see what they can do. Let's get all these veteran free agents that are being waived by their team because they don't deserve to even be on those type of teams' rosters. Look at the goddamn Indianapolis Colts. Look at how successful they're being. And Shaq Leonard's not even on the roster because he doesn't deserve to be on their roster. That's what we're doing here. Bayard, he isn't what he used to be, obviously. It's just the fact. Seriously, your best player in the secondary has been goddamn Cunningham, and we didn't even expect him to be that good. That's the problem. For as great as Jalen Carter has been, Haason, Reddick, Josh Sweat, all that stuff, when you're not getting to the quarterback consistently, and even when you're doing all this, even the run defense is taking a step back. Because this run defense was great in the first half of the year, but now it's starting to show its holes. Now it's starting to show its weaknesses. It's completely just unraveling. And I don't know if they can fix it. I don't think they can fix it. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they can fix it at all. At all. I don't think they can fix it. And I'm trying to see if there's anything more here with Nick Sirianni, but I am not seeing anything here on the Twitterverse. Personally, I thought there would have been more. Here with Nick Sirianni, but I don't see any more quotes and anything like that from any of the Eagles insiders or anything like that. I'm not seeing anything. Man. And just all this stuff with the media, Brandon Graham talking about, all the changes that they're making is based on the media and everything like that. Can we not? And then you see all the back and forth that some Eagles players are having, with Slay, all that stuff, like on Twitter, with fans and everything like that, with frustrated fans. Like, please. Bad organizations do this stuff. Don't be that. Please. Like, seriously, the rah-rah stuff, for the great guy that Nick Sirianni can be in the locker room, like, right now, he's just losing the locker room. The rah-rah stuff can only hold for so much when you're going through this bad stretch. You got to find a way to bring it together. And right now, it is just completely unraveling. And I just don't see a way out of it for them. I don't. And other teams, other fan bases are trying to tell us, take a chill pill. You got all these other, big sports media heads that are trying to, put some, lights on the situation with the Eagles just because of their tough schedule, and it finally caught up to them and everything like that. No, I don't buy that one bit. No team that is supposed to have Super Bowl ambitions gets completely embarrassed 2 weeks in a row against teams that they would probably face in the playoffs in San Francisco and Dallas, and have that type of performance that they've had. I don't care if you played in a gauntlet. I don't care the quality of teams that you played. You got to show up every single day. Even if you lose, you got to make it respectable. You can't get fucking blown out in your own goddamn building. That's the issue. San Fran ran their mouths all off season long because of the NFC Championship game last year. All season long, and we made fun of them for it. And then they came into your house and wrecked your shit. And you've been broken ever since. The 49ers broke the Eagles. That's bottom line. Nothing this Eagles team does in the last 3 weeks of the season against these garbage Giants and Cardinals teams. They should have fucking beat the Seattle Seahawks. But nope, for some reason they wanted to let Drew Lock have the best drive of his career in the final plays of the game. It's nothing they do in these final 3 weeks lets me buy back in. Nothing. And that's where I stand. Because the more I think about this team, the more it makes my blood boil. Because it's ridiculous. And here's another quote from Nick Sirianni. This is from Eagles Nation. Make no mistake about it, this offense is being run the same exact way it was last year and the year before. This is my offense. It's my offense. The criticism unfairly goes to Brian. He calls the plays. The criticism should go to me. This is my offense. So it's basically restated of what he said earlier. I don't believe anything of this. I don't. I appreciate he's taken accountability, but I just don't buy it. I don't. I don't. Until I see something that makes me tingle, nothing's going to make me buy into any of this. It just won't. It just won't. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, that is going to do it for tonight, everybody. I'm recording this like around 5 or something like, well, actually not at 5, what about 5 o'clock? This is around like, 3:45, so it's like almost 4 o'clock. So I'll probably be posting this later tonight, maybe like around 8, 9 o'clock or something like that. So definitely throughout the rest of the week, we got Flyers tomorrow, we got Flyers on Friday, so we'll have something talking about those 2 games. And yeah, well, the weekend will be the weekend. It's the holiday weekend, so we'll play it by ear what happens during that situation. But yeah, that is going to do it for tonight, everybody. I appreciate you joining here whenever you are viewing this. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service with the YouTube algorithm. I love each and every one of you that hits that subscribe button, joins the TTP Sports family, and we all just have a good time wallowing in the misery here. That's basically what it is. So, thank you guys for tuning in whenever you are tuning in and viewing this, and I'll see you next time.